Before we get started on today's morning briefing, don't forget if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Just look at that magnificent piece of lobster, freshly plucked from the sea. Is there anything better? Well, I thought maybe there would be. You see, I love Mexican food, and chorizo con huevos is one of my favorite dishes. So why not add the lobster to it? Won't that make it even better? So I did that. I sauteed the lobster. I mixed it with the chorizo. It was looking so good, so delicious. And then, of course, I added the huevos and mixed that all together. Add a little bit of cheese to it, and then came the taste test when I decided to find out how good my new dish was going to be. It absolutely sucked. You couldn't even taste the lobster. There's only one way to eat lobster, and that's just as it is, freshly plucked from the sea, a little bit of butter, and enjoy. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful Surfside, California this Saturday morning. I'm actually taping this morning briefing the night before because at 6 a.m. I'm going to be getting on the Island Spirit. We'll come to you live from the Island Spirit in the morning, say hello to you all, and then, of course, I'll be shooting a video for you and getting you up to date with the very, very latest. But I wanted to make sure that we covered the morning briefing topics because I've been able to contact a lot of guys and figure things out for you, and I want to get you up to date on what's going on in Mexico, the long range scene here locally. What's the weather going to be like on this weekend? It's a glorious weekend after Christmas and headed toward the new year. I'm going to have all that and more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Wow, that is so good, and it is really great to be back with you all again. We are watching the situations for you very, very closely as we continue to monitor these breaking news stories, and the biggest story is the weather here for this weekend. This day, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be beautiful. The wind is going to be a thing of the past. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. So if you're already headed to Catalina Island on the El Patron, you're going to be fishing locally. Maybe you're thinking about a half-day trip this afternoon on the Monte Carlo out of 22nd Street Landing or down out of San Diego. It's going to be absolutely beautiful for you, so keep that in mind. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you're able to do that. Share these videos with a friend. And, of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. Follow us over there on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We really appreciate all the follows and millions of views we've had this past month and throughout the 2024 season. It has been a great one, all thanks to you. All right, let's jump into it. We'll talk long range. We know that the Independence was down there in that yellowfin tuna zone. They had a little bit of rough weather, and of course they were going to fish bluefin tuna at night. I'll tag on to the morning briefing. Any updates we have on not only the Independence, but anybody else who's down there in that neck of the woods, like the Royal Polaris, like the Royal Star. Those boys are all down there at about 280 miles. They got there this Friday afternoon, yesterday afternoon, and had just a few hours to make things happen. However, they might fish that nighttime bluefin tuna, and if they did, we'll be updating you on that. If we have any information, I'll let you know about that. Other boats are on much longer trips, and they're headed down the Baja coast, so they've got another day or two to travel. We'll keep our eyes on those guys. They are in search of wahoo and giant yellowfin tuna. That's going to be spectacular here. The news that will come out in the next few days. We're watching that closely for you in Mexico. Down there in Cabo San Lucas, we continue to see some really good fishing. A variety of fish may not be wide open, but there's a few striped marlin around. There's been a couple of dorado, a couple of wahoo, some pretty good yellowfin tuna fishing, and some decent sized fish like 150 plus pound YFT in some cases. So pretty darn good fishing there. Mulaje, Loreto, really good yellowtail action, and Ensenada, which is only 70 miles below the border. Yeah, we have so many dear friends down there like Foca and Paulina, so many others. They have been catching lots of rockfish. Captain Ihara, same thing with Lucky Sport Fishing. They've been doing really well on the rockfish. There's some big bonita and occasional yellowtail that will pop up in that area, but for the most part, it's rockfish. Same thing down there in San Quintin. Perhaps a few more yellowtail down there in San Quintin, 140 miles below the border, but for the most part, good rock fishing with the occasional good yo-yo iron yellowtail bite. What is wrong with that, I ask you? All right, islands, all rockfish right now. That's what we've been catching. Hopefully, man, in about 3 more hours, we're going to be on Hidden Reef, putting the wood to the big Boccaccio and the big vermilions, and maybe another big giant lingcod. Wouldn't that be something if we were able to pull that off again? I would absolutely love that. The one thing that I will emphasize to you, if this forecast holds, the wind stopped blowing about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and it is going to be just as beautiful as you could imagine it here on Saturday. There is very little wind, if any, in the forecast. I mean, we're going to be gusting to 5 knots is about all. Most of the time it's going to be 1 or 2 knots of wind. That's to say, no wind at all. It's going to be a gorgeous winter day in Southern California here on Saturday. We'll let you know how we do, but good rock fishing up and down the coast at all the islands, at the Coronado Islands, at San Clemente Island. We'll get a check from the El Patron and see how they make out here today on their Saturday trip. Don't forget, they're going again on Sunday, and then the El Patron is going to continue right through January. So that is really fantastic news as they're going to continue to fish for bass and halibut. There's a lot of squid around, so you know that they're going to be in the game there for some exotics. Maybe some white sea bass, more halibut, and a yellowtail. But again, they'll be able to hammer out some great catches on a variety of different species and whitefish to help fill the sack. So that will be fantastic. As we also have been watching the Channel Island area, it's been fantastic for lingcod and just all kinds of rockfish. But remember, that all comes to an end on December the 31st. That's going to be the last day. Rockfish season closes until April when it opens up again. So you're going to have to wait till April if you don't run out and do your thing. Kids fish free tomorrow, Sunday, on board the Island Spirit. Take them out. It's the last chance to do the rockfish thing. And if you want to go deep water coding, looks like weather's going to be great on Monday. The Island Spirit is going to make a trip out there. They're going to try to get to Hidden Reef, weather dependent, but if they get enough people, they'll make that run out there, and you are going to love it. I'm telling you right now, it is so much fun. And probably on Monday, you're going to have a much lighter load than we do on this Friedman Adventures trip. So Monday, Island Spirit, 805-676-3474. Highly recommend you get on one of those trips, and we may even have a few spots available, but by the time you hear this, we'll be leaving. So I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? So really good rock fishing. And up there in Santa Barbara, Avila Beach, Morro Bay, all the way up to Monterey, San Francisco, they've had great rock fishing there also. It's been quite good up there in that neck of the woods, weather permitting. And once again, the weather looks really nice for the West Coast here in terms of this Saturday and even Sunday. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Closer to home, 1/2 and 3/4 day boats. Again, rockfish and whitefish and sheephead. Rockfish season's coming to a close. There's a lot of sculpin. Monte Carlo, boats out of San Diego, boats out of Dana Wharf. Some bass, calico and sand bass, especially on the twilight trips out of Marina del Rey. They're going to have a beautiful night Saturday night, no doubt about that. And also a little bit out of Redondo. So a lot of that rockfish and sculpin, those kinds of species, are biting right now. Nothing wrong with that. So you should take advantage of that if you get a chance, because it's all coming to an end here. In terms of the rockfish, as I mentioned, boats like the El Patron are going to keep chugging right through January, and that is absolutely great news. All right, in the Southern California surf, we've got to talk about Big Fish Bait and Tackle, the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They're right down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you need to make things happen here in the SoCal surf. There's been some nice barred perch fishing from below the border, like Rosarito Beach and San Quintin area, and even playas at Tijuana, but San Diego beaches. Here in SoCal, we've seen some really good barred perch fishing, occasional halibut also, and the weather's going to be absolutely beautiful on Saturday. It looks like it's going to be perfect. You grab some ghost shrimp down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, buy the ruler that they have to measure your catch with, and you're in a monthly contest to win a brand new custom wrapped surf fishing rod. That's it. You buy the ruler and you're in for as long as they run that tournament, and the plan is to keep it going for quite some time. So that is great news and really good stuff. So wonderful stuff going on in the surf. Hopefully you'll be able to catch some fish. In the wintertime, that's when you really switch to bait and get more bites as opposed to fishing artificials. But you can still catch smaller bar perch on the grubs. You're throwing a lucky crab lure, you're going to catch a halibut or a big barred perch, and there's a yellowfin croaker or two hiding out occasionally here also. Mostly you'll catch those in a little bit warmer water along with a corbina, but there's some holdover fish also hanging around. All right, my friends, again, it's a beautiful Friday evening, but I'm coming to you Saturday morning because this is the morning briefing, and I had to tape because I'm on the Island Spirit as you are watching this right now, headed out to Hidden Reef with Captain Daniel Hadaway and their great crew out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Again, they have a trip tomorrow that is kids fish free out of Ventura, and then Monday going deep water coding just like we are doing today. Have a great one. Thanks again for checking in. Don't forget, we'll have more updates, and I'll try to get some shorts up as soon as we get back in a little bit closer to port this evening. Man, I'm hoping for another big lingcod or some giant boccaccio and vermilions. Who knows what lies in our future today. Hoping you're having a wonderful day. Is it too early for me to say? I'm hoping you have a great New Year's also, because 2024 was a great one for us here at Friedman Adventures, and it was great because of you, and I can't thank you enough. Have a great and beautiful Saturday, a wonderful Sunday, a happy New Year, and I hope to see you really, really soon.